Hello everyone, welcome back to your very own Learn the Maahi way. So here I am today talking about the second topic of Science Standard 7, that is animal nutrition. Okay, so I hope all of you have gone through the previous videos where we have discussed about the wonders that plants are doing by the process of photosynthesis, where they are making food for themselves, and obviously that food is what we are consuming and we are able to survive. Okay, so that is the chapter where we have studied entirely about the plants. Now here we will be studying about the animals. Now when we say animals, we are not only talking about cows and buffaloes. Okay, when we say animals, we as human beings are also a part of that animal category. So today in this topic, specifically in this session, what we are going to study is the various steps which are involved in nutrition, how we are eating that food. Very commonly we have heard of the word digestion. Okay, so whenever we are talking about food, we are only using the word digestion, but it is not only digestion that happens. Digestion entirely happens in about these 5 steps. So we will be discussing about these 5 steps today. And of course you can see a not very lovely diagram here that I have drawn of the human digestive system. So today we will also just see the parts of the human digestive system, and probably in the upcoming videos we will be discussing the entire digestive system in detail. Okay, so let's get started. So the first step is ingestion. Okay, the word in means inside, right? So ingestion simply means taking in food. Okay, so just remember, ingestion, the process of ingestion just means taking in food in our body, and that primarily starts from our mouth. Okay, the process of ingestion starts from our mouth, because that is that from there is what we are consuming our food inside. Next is digestion. Now we keep using the word digestion. Okay, so what does digestion actually mean? What is digestion is breaking down of bigger molecules into smaller molecules. Okay, big substances are broken down into simpler substances. That is the process of digestion. Now what happens is, suppose we are consuming any food which is rich in carbohydrates. Okay, so this carbohydrates is a complex substance. Okay, when this carbohydrate gets further broken down into a simpler substance that can be starch or sugar, okay, that process is going to be called as digestion. So just remember, digestion is a process where complex molecules are broken down into simpler molecules. Okay, in simple words, it is big molecules broken down into smaller molecules. Proper scientific language, you can say digestion is a process where the complex food molecules are broken down into simpler food molecules. So that is about digestion. Next comes absorption. We have commonly heard of the word absorption while we have been speaking about plants also, right? Plants absorb water from the soil. So what do we mean by the word absorb? Is taking in. किसी चीज को से निचोड़ना. Okay, that is called as absorption. So यहाँ पे absorption किस चीज का हो रहा है? Now the complex molecules are converted into simpler molecules, correct? So what is going to happen is, this absorption is going to start in the stomach. Okay, क्या होने वाला है? Whatever food we are eating, not every part of that food is important to our body, right? So in the process of absorption, all the important nutrients that are actually needed for our body's growth are absorbed in the blood. Okay, that is what happens in the process of absorption. सारे जो भी important nutrients होते हैं which we need for the growth and development of our body, those nutrients are absorbed from whatever food we have eaten. So that is what happens in absorption. What happens in assimilation? Okay, assimilation मतलब क्या होता है? To put together. Okay, when we have to assimilate something, we have 3-4 things and we are bringing those 3-4 things together and putting it in one place. So that is called as assimilation. तो यहाँ पे हम assimilation किस चीज का कर रहे हैं? अब हमारा absorption हो गया, हमारे body के लिए whatever was important we have taken it. Okay, so absorption is done. Now what happens in assimilation is, whatever important nutrients we have taken in, those important nutrients are used to again make complex molecules, maybe again carbohydrates, or maybe something like proteins. Okay, so that happens in the process of assimilation. Assimilation means what? Bringing together something, and whatever important nutrients we have absorbed, those nutrients are used to make complex molecules like proteins. Okay, that is assimilation. And the last part is digestion. Okay, remember, do not get confused between ingestion and egestion. In means taking inside. Okay, and when we hear the word egestion, remember, egestion means giving out. Okay, exact opposite of ingestion. In the first step, we have taken in food, and in ingestion we are giving out or passing away all the unwanted food from our body. Like I said, not everything that we are consuming is important. हमने जो भी खाया है, whatever is needed for our body, we have absorbed and assimilated. Now there must be something that is unwanted. So that unwanted stuff is then pushed out of the body in the process of digestion. Okay. So these are the 5 steps that take place whenever we are eating something. We are taking in something, that is ingestion. Then होता है उसका digestion, that is bigger molecules broken down into smaller molecules. Then whatever important we want, उसका होता है absorption. Then हमने जो भी absorb किया है उसका होता है assimilation to form complex molecules. And then बचा हुआ जो भी है that is not needed by the body is pushed out of the body. Okay. So these are the 5 steps that are involved in animal nutrition. Now coming to the human digestive system. So like I said, the digestive system will first start from the mouth, from where we are taking in food. Coming down, we have something called as the esophagus. Okay, esophagus is basically called as the food pipe. Okay, and then again here we have the stomach. So esophagus basically क्या काम कर रहा है? It is just acting like a communication link between the mouth and the stomach. It is acting like a food pipe. Whatever food we are eating from the mouth, esophagus is a food pipe which is helping that food get transferred from the mouth to the stomach. That is called as esophagus. Then after the esophagus down here, something that in red that I have drawn is called as the small intestine. Okay, that is the small intestine, and here this at the side is the large intestine. Okay, so these are the parts that form the human digestive system. Starting with the mouth, then we have the esophagus, then we have the stomach, then we have the small intestine, and we have the large intestine. So these 5 steps that we have studied, these 5 steps take place in these 5 parts of the digestive system. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now there are some more organs as well in the digestive system. There is the liver, there is the pancreas, there is also a small say gallbladder over here. So what is liver, pancreas and gallbladder? We will be studying about these organs also in detail, where we will be studying about the entire digestive system probably in the upcoming session. So that is about the 5 steps of digestion and the human digestive system. Now a small part that I want to cover is about, there are 2 types of animals, okay, that can be herbivorous and carnivorous. Okay, herbivorous and carnivorous. So today we will be studying about how the nutrition takes place in the herbivorous animals. Now what is herbivorous and carnivorous? Herbs. What are herbs? Herbs are plants, right? So herbivorous animals are the animals which are plant eating animals, and carnivorous are the animals which are eating meat or flesh. Okay, so in simple term, let's call them veg and non-veg. Okay, so veg animals are the animals which are called as herbivorous, and non-veg are the ones which are called as carnivorous. Okay, so talking about herbivorous animals, so what are the different types of herbivorous animals that we know? Yes, so we can say cow, buffalo, right, deer, horse. These are all the different types of herbivorous animals which primarily consume grass as their main food. Okay, now in grass there is a specific carbohydrate which is present, which is called as cellulose. Okay, now this cellulose cannot be digested by the humans. Okay, this cellulose has a special feature where it is getting digested only in the body of these herbivorous animals. Now why is it so? Okay, why can't we digest? We are having a same digestive system as that of the cows and buffaloes, right? So why we cannot digest cellulose? So in the body or in the digestive system of these animals, especially the herbivorous animals, in their stomach, they have a special part called as the rumen. Okay, rumen. In their stomach, they have a small part called as the rumen. So this cellulose gets digested in this part, which is called as the rumen. Okay, so now how they eat food? When cows are taking in grass, okay, when they're eating grass, they eat that grass, and that grass they store it in this part which is called as the rumen. Okay, why they are storing? That is partially digested. They are not completely digesting it. They eat thoda khake, thoda chew karke, they pass it to this part which is called as the rumen. Okay, so this partially digested food is called as a cud. C-U-D. Partially digested food is called as cud. Okay, so what they do is they have eaten grass. That grass is partially digested, which is called as the cud, and this cud is stored in the rumen. Okay, after some time what they do is they bring this cud back to the mouth. Okay, now cud is in the rumen, right? So they bring this cud back to the mouth, where they again chew it. Usko और smaller particles में they are breaking. That process you must have observed. Cows are sitting in one place nicely and their mouth is moving. They are chewing something. Okay, so what process they are doing? They are doing this. When they keep chewing the cud, okay, they have brought the cud back to their mouth. They keep chewing it. That continuous process of chewing is called as rumination. Okay, the organ is called as the rumen. So that process is called as rumination, and these animals are also called as ruminants. Okay, they are called as ruminants. So this is about the digestion in the herbivorous animals. Now what are the important things that you need to remember here is what specific substance is present in these in the grass which only these animals can eat and digest. So that specific carbohydrate is cellulose, which cannot be digested by the humans. It can be only digested by the herbivorous animals. Okay, next thing you need to remember is a special part in the stomach of these animals is called as the rumen, where they store their partially digested food, which is called as the cud. And then later when they bring back the cud to the mouth and they keep chewing it for breaking it into smaller particles, that continuous process of chewing is called as rumination, and these animals are therefore called as ruminants. Okay, so that was about cows. Now we have studied about plants in the last session. Today we have studied about these herbivorous animals. So now in the upcoming sessions we will be studying about humans, how we are eating food, how we are digesting food, and let me tell you, it is going to be an interesting session. Don't you think it is actually interesting for us to know how our body functions, right? It is wonders of science. Okay, so yes, so next session we will be studying entirely descriptive way of the human digestive system. So stay tuned to the channel for more updates, and like, share and subscribe the channel if you haven't. I'll be back soon.